Hey guys, Type here bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Bayeux. Playing today spawning on the left we have Oziligath playing as OKW. Immediately locking into Spec Ops. Base offensive on the right we have Kimbo playing as US Forces for Recon support. Coming out very close with that Bayeux retreat there. Definitely should have gone a bit earlier than that. But luck is with him here. We're chasing in for the wipe and he doesn't get it. Oh! Spoke too soon. Oof, right at the base doorstep. Heartbreaker there for Oziligath. At least he got some bleed on the squad, but that is a shocker of a start for him, losing the Bayeux. That was just way too late. You could see he was trying to get the wipe on that retreating rifle, but stayed in the fight for a little bit too long there. Ends up paying the price, you know. I've been so good at that run and gun chase down style. You have to be very careful. They've got enough room to chase you down. Can really put the hurt on you. You got very lucky that he even got that far, honestly. I picked the Sturms to go down by about here, so bad start there for Oziligath. Really gaining some territory and has kept up in the north, pretty much uncontested so far, so getting some decent territory going. Kimbo getting super aggressive like that, just charging over here. Only now connecting his fuel, so despite that little setback, and steady the ship here a bit. Rebuilding the Bayeux now.
Capture point is under attack.
And then backing out. Kimbo is going for the lieutenant. Reasonable timing on this still, in spite of the lack of fuel to this point. Oziligath not going to go for an extra fault screen here. Going to go into tech after this. Personally, I've been trying a lot of OKW strategies, you know, like double Bayeux or maybe 3 Fox instead of 4. And honestly, I haven't had much success with them. 4 Fox seems pretty vital unless you're going for like a fast Jaeger light. That's pretty much the only situation that I seem to be able to get to work in terms of getting away with a lower unit count in the early game than 4 Fox Grenadiers. So we'll see how Oziligath handles it here. So they'll try to pressure the cutoff a bit here, but ultimately outnumbered. Often charging in. Opportunities behind cover, but they drop a model first. It'll be a very tight engagement. No, Oziligath going to throw out the incendiary grenade to switch the engagement into his favor. Still might end up losing it though. Riflemen are just so beastly and close. Very hard to deal with. And he's up retreating, getting the tech down, but you can see, you know, in terms of manpower, maybe he could have squeezed out one more squad here. So let's go for the next tech upgrades, of course. Got some reinforcing to do. Looks like he is going for the tech upgrade there on the battle group. Coming into the retreat path here of Kimbo's riflemen. Kimbo going for a 3 rifle start. Into M20 now, and M20 is going to come out, you know, around 6 minutes. Nothing too special there. Not going for like a 2 rifle tech like we've seen from some other people. Kimbo trying to get a bit more aggressive in the early game. Really press the advantage with his rifleman, and this is actually going to kind of work out quite well for Oziligath. Kimbo instead saved his resources, went straight for the Stuart. Oziligath, you know, with no Recon, 1 Fox Grenadier down, less snares available. He would have a lot of trouble, but against this, you know, medium timing on the M20, his build should actually perform quite well. Still hurting a little bit for territory control. We're charging in on the north there. Here comes the M20 and Kimbo gonna go for the skirts. He's got loads of munitions spare as well. STG's coming in for Oziligath. Comes in close. Fires off the Faust, and now the flak after could come in and actually get the kill here. He just needs to drive up quite aggressively and go for it. M20 does have smoke here, so I think I personally would have driven in a tiny bit closer than this. Flak after sets up, fires at the rifleman, trying to stop them from getting in close for an anti-tank grenade. We're trying to press his luck, trying to crawl into range, but unsuccessful. Jumping out. Going for some repairs here. He doesn't have to repair up to full here, just has to remove that critical. Doesn't quite get it to 75% health though. Jumped back in slightly too early there. Back after it coming back in. Needs to keep the Volksgrenadiers there providing sight. Briefly lost sight, which is why the flak after didn't fire there. And the M20 able to back away. Got another rifle squad closing the distance here. And yeah, opportunity gone begging there for Oziligath. Maybe could have got the kill there if he drove in really aggressively. Just like maybe he would have taken the snare, but I think he would have got the kill. But Kimbo gets out of there. And now a Stewart in the works. The kid next for Oziligath has to be. Has to expect the Stewart to arrive, so desperately needs it. And this is around the timing where Oziligath needs to very carefully consider how he's utilizing his flak half track. Now that there potentially could be a Stewart, you need to consider your positioning, the Recon positioning, if you've got Faust nearby. Kind of have to tone down the aggression of your flak half track play here. He's trying to position it into the retreat path of this rifle squad, but the stern pies are maybe a little bit too low in health to really like just outright force the retreat here. Here they go now though. Oh, but they're running through the center of the map. That's a really good retreat path there for Kimbo. Unfortunate for Oziligath. I think he was hoping they would just retreat down this way, which, you know, does look like a reasonably straight retreat path, but I guess, you know, this is a relatively new map Bayeux, especially if you hadn't been playing tournaments. Kimbo has, but Oziligath hasn't, so sometimes you might not be quite so familiar with all the retreat paths quite yet. Here comes the Stewart going for the flak half track. Kitten sets up but doesn't quite get a shot off. No snaring squads nearby at all. And it looks like the flak half track's going to go down. He's driving back and forth, trying to avoid the Stewart attack ground shots here. He did like outright retreat with the Recon, maybe a bit of a panic move there for Oziligath. Oh, but abandoned up there. And the Stewart going to drive away. He might actually be able to recrew that. Yeah, maybe a little bit too panicky on the hard retreat there. Okay, we're going to repair off that damage. It's right next to the capture circle there, so Oziligath can see this. Opens up. Oh, he jumps back in the nick of time there. Got the squad coming around. Another Faust going to get fired off here. That time a bit more damage needs to be repaired off to get rid of that critical. Kitten coming back through the center here. So around the timing where you know, maybe would see Kimbo consider taking weapon racks or grenades. Stempire's trying to go for the repairs here. Two riflemen closing the distance. So is the M20. M20 soaking the damage for the moment. Gets very, very low. Stempire's have to put a halt to their repairs, but this squad getting pinned before their snare comes off. And they have to abandon that attempt. Another Volksgrenadier coming down. Two AT grenades is not quite going to be enough here. And he could lose his rifleman. In fact, he's retreating now. Once again, a nice retreat path away from the Volksgrenadiers. Concussive grenade out now. Volksgrenadiers getting very, very low. Back half track might have a bit of trouble attack grounding through there. Stewart coming back in, but so is the Recon. Oh, and the rifleman extremely low here for Kimbo. Attack ground attempt there for Oziligath. Doesn't quite find his mark, and the flak half track eventually goes down. Oh, Kimbo did lose one of those riflemen. Maybe retreating past this infantry here in the center, actually. Okay, well, that salvages the situation for him quite a bit. Kimbo looking to pile on the light vehicle pressure here, though. Going for a third one, the Greyhound now. So Oziligath probably going to need another Recon to answer this. Good thing is these days, though, you can kind of go for the Sternpire Shrek and still have access to the mines later on. And you're facing off against an M20. Can be pretty handy. Oh boy, that could be the end of the Greyhound immediately. There it goes. A little bit clumsy with the positioning on that for Kimbo. And goes down immediately. And that's really like an unforgivable mistake for Kimbo, because Greyhound has such tremendously long line of sight. There's no real reason to charge it into Faust range like that. You see it from a mile off. So it's a pretty big blunder from Kimbo. And cost him his Greyhound. Opens the door for Oziligath to come back into the game. He's rebuilding his flak half track. So both these players doubling down on the light vehicles here. We are saying, like, you know, up against the M20 can be really helpful to have the sweepers on your Sternpires. Sweep up those mines. So he's trying to close in for the Faust here. Attack ground attempt for Oziligath, but doesn't come good. He's been spending a lot of munitions on snares. Definitely has to do something like that, but has, you know, impacted him in terms of weapon upgrades, mines. Lieutenant here with the bars, that means Kimbo must have equipped weapon racks. Double bars in fact, flak half track coming forwards. And there goes the Lieutenant. Stewart up north. Flak half track coming to the south. Going after the M21st, rear echelon second. Kimbo quite slow repairing up the Stewart up here in the north. It's taken a long time, it's been up there damaged. He's got quite a lot of resources floating at the moment as well.
A supply line just got cut off.
Double check batteries on that mine detector.
Sweepers out for Oziligath, as I said, you know. Doesn't want to fall victim to one of those M20 mines, especially in this region of the map where M20 easily could have set one up out of Oziligath's line of sight. As you're closer to here, maybe he hasn't had the time. The flak half track doing a good job here, helping Oziligath hang on to a nice chunk of territory, and VPs are pretty much dead even at this stage. So with all those twists and turns early on, still a very, very tight game here.
Command tanks have reached the front. Deploy is needed.
And he dodges out of the kitten's arc of fire there. 20 also evading the flak half track. Opportunities win in the north with the STGs, but Stewart putting a stop to that quite quickly. So yeah, the flak half track really working well here for Oziligath. I think that was the right choice to rebuild it. It can be quite intimidating rebuilding your light vehicle that late on. It was around like 11 minutes 30 I think when it came out, but the fact that Kimbo also went for another light vehicle and it died immediately gave him the breathing room here. Up against like a fast tick to a medium tank, might have backfired. Kimbo, meanwhile, going for a second officer, going for the captain here. A little bit surprising. Maybe feels like he's not in that strong of a position. It's the anti-tank gun to help counter the flak half track. He's building that up now. Meanwhile, Oziligath getting his shred down, covering the cutoff, a little bit of the fuel point as well. And already upgraded with the Panzer authorization, so only about 70 fuel away from a medium tank now. There's Kimbo having gone for the second officer, is actually quite a lot further behind. He's gone for weapon racks as well. Couple things to slow him down a bit. There we go, flak base, flak half track, it's all going down over here. No snaring squads though, and Kimbo's going to try his luck. Try to finish off the flak half track. A few shot blockers around. And Stuart takes engine damage. They're getting back at base though, so Stuart should be able to back away quite safely. Now to stop the M20 chasing him down as he retreats. But yes, steady control here for Oziligath. Question is what he's going to go for next. It's a tough one. He has quite low on munitions. He could, you know, if he spends basically all of them, go for the LMG on his obus. Could consider an infantry support gun. Maybe he's just going to try save for the Panzer IV right now. Just accept a bit more infantry, please. Second Recon is actually going to be the option. Okay, interesting. Another bleed here for Oziligath, charging him down to the south of these stern posts. There they go now. Double bar squads chasing in a bit, looking for a bit more bleed. You can see maybe Kimbo thinking about gearing up for an attack on the flak base with his anti-tank gun, but has to give up that attempt. Very hard to achieve that in this kind of situation without like 1 or 2 machine guns, which he definitely does not have at the moment. Infiltration grenades out, a lot of damage onto the lieutenant, but unfortunately he still lose that engagement, and Kimbo going to be able to get them neutralized down there. Oziligath has been doing a good job, you know, reducing the impact of these double light vehicles from Kimbo. Kimbo with a lot of manpower spare again. He's got a bit of reinforcing to do, but could probably squeeze in one more unit before his Sherman. Which I imagine he's going to go for a Sherman first. Could maybe even airdrop in a combat group. He has burned through his munitions all of a sudden, but could be an idea. It's kind of nice, you know, when you've got the captain, you don't have to go for an extra stage of tech to unlock the pack out, so you can just drop it in. We're starting back up on the base assault here. But it has to give up on that pretty quickly. I got 1 or 2 shots in there, not too impressive. Fortunately here, getting the Faust on the Stuart up in the north. Now Oziligath has actually had a pretty easy time up there in the north. Kimbo hasn't been hotly contesting that area too much. Jumping on top of the AT gun. Back half track through the centre. Cheeky attack round shot there from the Stuart. Some big hits and a little bit late dodging. Oh boy, he's just left it here. Smoking out now. But nice attack ground predictive there. And Kimbo gets the Stuart. Oziligath a little bit late reacting. And he pays the ultimate price.
Americans are making a push.
Double AT guns out for Oziligath, and yeah, that can be troubling for the M20. Does that get a health bonus? I'm not entirely sure. Austin on the M20. Double Recons coming down to the south, but nothing really to spot for them. He's repairing up. He's got both the vehicle crew and the rear echelon there for potential repairs. We're even going to smoke out there. Oziligath getting a shoe mine down. That's really good positioning. Double Recons going for some attack ground, but unable to shoot through the tree line there. Kimbo able to repair up quite safely. Second anti-tank gun coming through for Kimbo. Okay. A little bit surprising. And right around there for a Sherman if he wants to go for it. But yeah, it doesn't really make sense to go for double AT guns and a Jackson. I don't know.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
It's a veteran see on Kimbo's tanks now. Light vehicles, the light tank, Stuart. 18 kills there for the M20. We've got the Panzer IV out now for Oziligath, so let's see what he can do with this. Double AT guns up in the north at the moment. Panzer IV heading to the south. And Stuart shutting down Oziligath's attempts up here. Still the VP's very, very close. Oziligath only 10 behind, so very, very tight contest still, and you can see army size wise also very, very close to even here.
Is being overrun.
Yeah, there's got to be a Jackson. Wow, that is a tremendous amount of anti-tank for Kimbo. Got a what, bazooka rear echelon, 2 anti-tank guns, and a Jackson. So Oziligath going to have to be very careful with this Panzer IV. Takes half his health there, backing out.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Good connection there from the Recon. Oh, Kimbo, maybe he's going to try to go for a double AT gun push through the center. That's maybe his plan. We got a artillery flare up though over here, which probably sees this coming, at least to some extent. Second Recon in the north, fending off the Stuart. Panzer IV, oh boy, very narrowly avoiding those double AT guns. Yeah, Oziligath saw them there with his artillery flare. Still could have taken some damage there as he repositioned somewhat. Did take one shot in the end. Attack ground action from Kimbo. But yeah, looks like Kimbo really wants to get the kill here. Doesn't have any like pathfinders to spot though. He did. These AT guns would just be lighting up this tech truck right now. Here he goes, going to try spot with the infantry a bit. Double AT gun setting up. Big old blob coming out for Oziligath though, and no machine gun again supporting this from Kimbo. A lot of damage coming through. Is that Major RD coming down as well? Double AT guns under some pressure. Raised silence activated from Oziligath, and I don't think he did enough damage there to get the kill. Crew on one. Infiltration grenades out. Captain in some trouble, goes down to the infiltration grenades. Kimbo having trouble handling the radio silence here, it looks like. And yeah, tech structure's surviving, a little bit under quarter health. P4 sticking around for as long as it can. That's a bit more damage onto the Jackson. See if we can Recon up in the north against the Stuart. Big question here is what's going to happen to this anti-tank gun up here. Can Oziligath kill it? No. Kimbo's going to be the one who kills it. That's a little bit surprising. I thought he'd try and regather it. 20 coming through and getting some good bleed in there again. 25 kills now. Oh!
We lost an infantry unit. They got wiped out.
Rifleman squad get down? I think so. Oh boy, Kimbo, a little bit sloppy there losing that. Okay. But yeah, that push, you see why it's so important to have a machine gun when you're making those double anti-tank gun pushes on the tech truck. Infantry just charging straight down the center without the suppression. Couldn't hold the line there, Kimbo. Didn't quite have enough. So yeah, failed attempt to kill the truck. So the gas tank's still very low, and so is the tech truck. If Kimbo could finish the job here, that would be quite good for him. Oziligath going for an infantry support gun now. Definitely would have made sense when Kimbo still had double AT guns against single AT guns. It's an okay choice. I think I personally would prefer a over-soldated squad, but it's no big deal either way. True support guns, just a bit easier to use, you know, you can leave it camped under the forward rear. Doesn't really have to control it too much to get some results. Tank gun here trying to destroy the sandbags, but colliding with a whole bunch of other things instead. Before back up to full, but he hasn't repaired up his tech truck. I really hope Oziligath gets on top of that now. So I think even like one major artillery would take it down from here now. Oh my gosh. Lieutenant down. Oh my god, not the rear echelon as well. Very, very close, but not quite. Jackson trying to work its way into the bottom, open up on the Panzer IV, but has to pull back ultimately. Got a Sherman out now from Kimbo though. Switching it over to high explosive rounds and heading up to the north. Do have a Recon up here, but spinning around to fire at the Stuart. Stuart might be able to back away around here. Okay, very early retreat there from Oziligath, playing it safe. Bit of blocking here from the M20 though on the Recon, stopping it from retreating. Very nicely done there by Kimbo. And it gets up decrewed because of that. Jackson AT gun, everything's up here from Kimbo, trying to prevent the recruit on that Recon, and Oziligath's just going to have to let it go down. M20 sight there, spotting the Panzer IV from long range. It's down to one shot. Second Recon's up here now though. Oziligath doesn't want to give up on this Recon. But and there it goes, has to. Wow. Ooh, close call. Good attack ground attempt there for Oziligath. Oziligath around enough resources for his next tank here. Kimbo also with a lot of manpower. Could very easily rebuild his army here, but hasn't rebuilt like any squad so far at all. Probably could do with one more rifle squad just for the snare potential. Maybe could look to a machine gun after that. Maybe try to lock down one of these far VPs with a machine gun away from the clutches of that infantry support gun. There was an attack ground attempt there from that Panzer IV, and it came up good.
We just lost a unit. Field promotion.
Kimbo losing another unit. Oh boy, but that's a nasty shot, clumped up. And down it goes, stern pirate falling. And here we go, may pay the price here for the tech truck not getting repaired. I think 2 Jackson shots will take care of it. Here goes one, needs one more. We're kidding up in the north against the M20. Jackson needs one more shot here. But accidentally shooting at the infantry support gun here, not on prioritized vehicles. It is showing. But missing that attack ground shot. Now the Stuart coming forwards to sight. And the Jackson finishing the job, so Oziligath paying the price for not repairing up his tech truck. Lost his sternpires as well, so no repairs on this Panzer IV for quite some time. Did manage to get the Yak Panzer out before the tech truck went down, so not disaster stations for him, but Yeah. It was very, very bad news for him not repairing up that tech truck.
We're taking lead over here.
Kimbo now going for the airdrop combat group. Maybe that's what I was trying to do with his manpower earlier, but didn't have it available. Still has plenty of resources left as well.
Under attack.
Okay, cruiser with the paratroopers. Decent option. Your re-echelon probably preferred now that their reinforced cost especially has gone down in the last patch by a bit. But it's not horrible to have the paratroopers, especially if you have pathfinders out. You can drop the beacons and your paratrooper equipped crew weapons can reinforce off the beacons. Can be a nice tactic to use, Kimbo, with no pathfinders, but wouldn't be a horrible idea for him to get just for the extra sight, if I'm honest. Spot long range for that Jackson. For his pack howitzer. Could be a decent option. And of course that Pathfinder artillery is just crazy busted. Oh well, Sherman in some trouble here. Jagdpanzer and Raketen. Good smoke by the Sherman. Briefly loses sight. Kimbo's got his defenses up though, and the Jagdpanzer decided to pull back. So everything one shot up here, but does manage to get away. Good timing on the smoke there from Kimbo. One more Raketen shot and that would have been it. Very, very close call. Now just repaired up the Panzer IV, otherwise that probably would have been brought into action there. Using those stern pipes. Denying Oziligath the opportunity there. Good shot from the Panzer IV, straight up to Vet 2 there. Gonna connect for another Faust. AT gun positioning, gonna go for some attack round memes maybe. Indirect fire here, exchanging blows. Looks like Kimbo gonna barrage. Might even catch the machine gun with some scatter shots as well. Paratrooper's not upgraded yet, so quite weak. Especially up against the highly vetted Volksgrenadiers. Oh boy, that's some big damage from the Stuart from the M20, up to 34 kills now. Kimbo milking that hard. Got the Raketen here. Is this the end of the Stuart? He's got the smoke out. Jagdpanzer though doesn't miss this time, finishing the job.
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
Good dodge on the infiltration grenades up in the north here.
Field promotion just came through.
We've only seen maybe one activation of Renaissance so far. Would have been an okay option to activate it there, just there and then throw out the grenades. That Kimbo got caught off guard by it. Oh, well, there goes the M20. Kimbo kind of just throwing that away. Sherman coming in. In fact, double Shermans. Maybe hoping to get a flank on the Jagdpanzer, but quickly disengaging. Still got that shoe mine down by Oziligath, remember. Jackson coming through the center. But the Jagdpanzer's sturdy frontal armor holding up for the moment. And Kimbo very slow, still on high explosive rounds. And now triggering that mine with his Sherman. Might have to try use the emergency repairs here. Repair off that critical. Jackson meanwhile taking care of the Panzer IV, forcing that away. But a squad down up in the north, and here come the double Volksgrenadiers looking to Faust away the Sherman. Can they get close enough? Sherman and Jackson coming in here. Jagdpanzer. Oh boy, it's driving slightly too far forwards. Has the wrong angle here, but good armor. There goes the Jackson. Sherman still wants to get the kill, missing the killing blow. And Jagdpanzer taking him down there. Kimbo throwing it all away here. Could even lose his paratroopers. Sherman, though, does manage to escape for the moment. This is another perfect opportunity for Renaissance to chase down the squad. Doesn't go for it, though. Also has enough to upgrade this final squad with STGs. But yeah, Kimbo losing quite a lot there. All but one of his vehicles. He's in some trouble. Got a bit reckless. Okay, now he's popping Renaissance. Got a little bit lucky as Oziligath there. The Jagdpanzer's armor, you know, it's pretty good. I think it's what, 230 armor. Pretty sturdy, but Definitely running good on the bounces there.
Ready for action.
Very easily could have gone down. And now, after that, Kimbo trying to steady the ship a bit, going for a second AT gun, has 2 tanks to deal with, makes a lot of sense. But yeah, Oziligath in a really nice position after that throw.
All done here, boys. Pause for orders.
Getting some sandbags up to hold on to the victory points and the munitions a bit more easily.
Radio silence has been lifted.
Kimbo down on the VP score as well. 183 for him, so it's just down all round at the moment. Oziligath rebuilding his tech truck. A little bit further down this time, away from the center. You know, maybe the AT guns have to expose themselves a bit further if they want to push down to this region.
Command has authorized the use of radio silence.
Objective secured.
Good shots there from the Sherman. 17 kills. It's doing alright. Kimbo's just been struggling for munitions. No upgrades on the paratroopers still. Kimbo has enough for another Jackson now. But, you know, I talk about this quite often. You know, when you're fighting tank destroyer against tank destroyer, pretty hard to come in Vet 0 tank destroyer against a Vet 2 one. Especially one like the Jagdpanzer with their health boost at Vet 2. This infiltration grenades nearly wiping out the captain. Kimbo getting out of there in time. Jagdpanzer taking a few bazooka shots as well. But Kimbo, no snaring squads at all. It could come back to cause us some issues. Yeah, I've been playing quite a few like low snare strategies at the moment with penal troops, mass re-echelon. It's very easy to find yourself in a dangerous situation. Oh, it's a good shot from the Panzer IV. Maybe you could see the re-echelon go down here. Oh, nice work there from Kimbo, smoking the retreat path, keeping him safe. Hit 3 now for the Panzer IV. And now some overs for Oziligath. Big bundle grenade. Kimbo calling in another airdropped combat group. So yeah, he's just going to do it without any snares. And this is a tough one. Very, very tough not having snares. Especially as US forces. Most commanders, you don't have any like permanent mines. It's the light AT mines, and they often don't cut the mustard in those hectic scenarios. Showing up here in the north. Oh boy, Kimbo with a drive by there, and there it goes. Jackson down just like that. That high vet on the Recon just has such a nasty rate of fire. And the Jackson goes down before it does anything really. AT guns lining up here for Kimbo. Doesn't activate the AP ammo though. Maybe trying to conserve munitions for weapon upgrades on his paratroopers. Oh boy, is that engine damage now on his Sherman? That could be in some trouble. He's got his double AT guns up there, but there's actually nothing else up there to support him at the moment. Ober's coming in, gonna pressure the anti-tank guns. Panzer IV and Jagdpanzer a little bit low, but very easily could get the kill here. Mobilizing now. STGs biting off a little bit more than they can chew here. Kept him with the bar pretty strong. I think that's double bars. Doing his best to relieve some of the VP pressure. He's done a pretty good job, you know, in spite of so many calamities for him over the last like 10 minutes or so. He's barely drained any VPs in that time. Pretty impressive. On the drain at the moment though. For a brief moment. Second Panzer IV for Oziligath, and that's pretty much going to round out his army by the time he reinforces Obers. Pretty much has pop cap limit here. And, oh boy, Oziligath leading his Panzer IV forwards. AT gun setting up and down it goes. A little bit sloppy, not backing it away further, and Kimbo manages to take advantage of it. Jagdpanzer through the center though. Could go for an attack round. Seeker's coming in from the side. Kimbo also setting up for some attack round action. House connecting. Doesn't hang around for a second Faust and looking for the kill though. Panzer briefly thinking about coming forwards, but stopping in its tracks. Oziligath gonna go for the drain. Big shame to lose that Panzer IV. What was it, Vet 4? It's a hit. Dropping the veterancy from that. STG's going to work, and once they do a lot of damage up close. So Oziligath going to camp out the bottom with his machine gun. Kimbo caps the Muni point and now backing out. We've got a Panzer IV coming down here. Trying to head this through the fog. So we're heading to the center, but we've got an AT gun coming to the bottom. Missing that shot. Might have been an attack round, just hoping to get something there. As against the Sherman up in the north. I think it's healthy enough to survive one more hit though. Yeah, and it does. Those double pack howies from Kimbo is starting to slap pretty hard. Causing some issues for Oziligath, especially if he tries to cap close to the center. Just a matter of time before a wipe happens. Those two pack houses and Oziligath, there doesn't have any artillery that's easy to access to counter that. I suppose technically could go for walking Stuka, but you know it requires taking the mechanized and getting it. It's a tough sell. Infiltration grenades there, a lot of damage onto the paratroopers. Oziligath going for the drain. We're down to 125.
A capture point is under attack.
This is the exact kind of scenario you want as Kimbo. You know, got your pack howies blasting away at the very expensive squad trying to go for the cap in the center, and here comes the Sherman looking for the wipe. Very close call. Pack howie and Sherman almost getting the job done there. Four coming through the center. Both Sherman still on high explosive though. P4 missing. Recon does not. The flares up, spotting the rotation of the anti-tank guns here. But I wouldn't be getting too aggressive with this Panzer IV. Kind of needs his IR STG overs around to try and pressure these anti-tank guns. A little bit surprising that he hasn't like caught them badly out of position so far, especially with the radio silence. Oh, that Panzer IV gets extremely low. Got the butterfly bombs coming down now. MA3 cluster mines bombs. But it skates out of there without taking almost any damage. Sherman, meanwhile, coming in aggressively. Oziligath once again trying to go for forward repairs, getting punished hard by Kimbo. And there goes the Panzer IV. I think it's out of control at the moment. Taking a very long time to go down. So Oziligath paying the price again for trying to repair or not back away far enough from the front line, and Kimbo swooping in there, getting the kill. Oh, good shot there from the Jagdpanzer. Oh, and he picks off the Sherman max range. Nicely done. Well, I think I heard a Volksgrenadier squad just went down there. So salvaging the situation somewhat, picking off that Sherman. I think that was a highly vetted Sherman as well. So it's an okay trade for Oziligath, and he's the one, you know, capping up the VPs right now, working himself into the retreat path of these paratroopers, and Kimbo just not going for the upgrades at all here. Kind of strange to see. Panzer's armor staying strong there. Thing is, you know, he is pretty highly vetted now. Could just leave this in cautious movement. Doesn't have to be invisible. Custom grenade charging in, but that was a nasty hit from the pack alley. Lucky that he stunned the squad, otherwise the Sternpipes could have gone down there. And the VP pressure on Kimbo. He's capping in the bottom though, capping in the center. Under 100 now, however. The Panzer IV for Oziligath. More damage onto the Jagdpanzer. Turning back up to full speed here for Kimbo, just about. Bazooka squad on the south, gonna tangle with that Panzer IV. Okay, now the Jagdpanzer going camo style. And interesting, putting down some med crates there can be pretty handy if you take like a big hit, especially on one of your team weapons. You don't have to want pullback or back to base. Some forward healing. Oh boy, but Panzer IV briefly stopping in front of the AAT guns there. Very lucky that they packed up. Still, Panzer IV almost went down. Very, very lucky that they packed up after that first volley of strikes. Oh boy, kind of retreating into his own grenade there, doing some damage. Chasing him for the wipe on these Obers. Oh, and he picks them off max range. Kimbo, second time this game. Just that Sternpine right at the start, and now the Obers. Sherman very low after that, but is alive. But yeah, that's a big shame, as Oziligath really need those Obers to pressure the anti-tank guns. Now he doesn't have it. Kimbo going for his first 50 cal about 50 minutes into the game. Very strange. Usually we see most US players go for 2 of these quite early on. Kimbo getting his first one now. It's really going to help him control those victory points. The triple cap running at the moment. And Oziligath, after, you know, a couple Panzer IV losses, the over loss. Struggling a little bit for manpower right now. Army size is very tight. Kimbo actually with a slight lead once he jumps back inside his tank. Good shot there from the Panzer IV. The AT guns coming out from behind the smoke though. Oh boy, this could be another wipe maybe. 50 cal is set up. Captain chasing him. No, gets away. Another Panzer IV for Oziligath. But until that second Panzer IV arrives, he's got to be cautious. Try and avoid damage. And then go in for a big bum rush once that second one arrives. And Kimbo is very vulnerable to that kind of aggressive vehicular play because he's got no snaring squads, as I said before. Or Pacowie's blast the infantry support gun. And the AAT gun's pushing up. Oziligath a little bit clumsy with that Panzer IV. Oh, and the ISG goes down. He dodged away at a good time, but Panzer IV is still up here. AAT gun's coming in for Kimbo, going for some attack round action. Panzer IV backs away for the moment. But yeah, Oziligath just doesn't have the infantry at the moment to keep the AAT tank guns honest. Finds himself in a tough scenario. Second Panzer IV out, and Kimbo not going for another Jackson, going for another Sherman here. Oh, that could be trouble for this Sherman though. Stops pretty close and pretty quickly. Avoids taking that Faust. If he took the Faust, would have gone down there for sure. The Jagdpanzer unable to keep pace. Cautious movement though, nice for the Jagdpanzer, and halfway to Vet 5 now. Bonus damage coming out of the camo. Before it takes 2 shots, has to back out. Second Panzer IV up in the north, Sherman up there as well. Before missing, kind of looked like it was a hit though. Panzer connecting though, and bounce from the Panzer IV. T-guns open up on the Jagdpanzer, has to back out. So Oziligath really having a lot of trouble keeping his tanks healthy. Comes forwards, takes a lot of damage from the AAT guns, then has to back out. Rinse and repeat. Doing a bit of a circle maneuver here. Jagdpanzer's taking some shots from the AAT guns. A little bit of pathing issues. Oh boy, still taking some hits. This one's got the take aim active, so it's got the range boost. And here comes the other Panzer IV, but he backed away with this one. Luckily the Sherman exposed the rear armor. Another Sherman on high explosive here as well. We've got Volkswagen charging forwards with the radio silence. So they get charging in, looking to get something going here. One of the AT guns gets decrewed. The other one circling, looking to take down the other one. Armor holding up for the moment. Bazooka and the shells bouncing off it here. Circling around. There's a tiny bit more damage. Good play here from Oziligath. Slightly early retreat with that squad though. Both of the AT guns are down. It's the kill on one of them. So there's those rear echelon bazookas and the kill on the second one. Very nicely done there by Oziligath. Well-timed attack. Finally caught them out of position, and you can see I was talking about Kimbo not having any snares. Unable to slow down these Panzer IVs. And they can just continue to be a threat for such a long time. Even when they're low on health, without those damaged engines. Lost his rear echelon Zooks as well, he's in some trouble. Sherman on armor piercing here. Panzer IV doesn't pop the blitz, but looks like he's going to be able to back away quite safely. Keeping up in the north is Oziligath. Oziligath also low on VPs, about to tick under 100 here. Oh, but the Panzer IV sniping off the 50 cal max range. Now can go for the kill on the decrewed weapon. Another AT tank gun getting built by Kimbo.
Tactical point being captured.
Not killing off the decrewed 50 here. Can't read. I should not be leaving his Panzer IV forwards and Jagdpanzer that far back. He needs them in support of each other here. Maybe he wants to steal this. T-gun coming up for Kimbo. Didn't have the option of building a Jackson, but goes for the anti-tank gun instead. Oh boy, that's a nasty shot from the pack Howie, shutting down Oziligath's VP pressure. Nearly costing him the squad too. Yet another Panzer IV here for Oziligath. Only one Sternpire for repairs. This could backfire on him a little bit. Doesn't have the mechanized truck down either for the repairs. Captain, I think, was deciding to jump on the 50 cal, but dropped under a 4 model, so he lost the squad if he went for it. The AT gun and the Panzer IV. Panzer IV charging in here. Anti-tank gun getting through the frontal armor. Oh boy, and the Panzer IV goes down. Jagdpanzer coming down here. Oziligath getting a little bit reckless, trying to go in for the kill. Oh boy, this Panzer IV. And Kimbo going for the bazooka paratroopers. Luckily, that time, Panzer IV bounces the M1. M1 hasn't popped the AP ammo, but the bazooka paratroopers doing some big damage on the rear armor. Staying in the arc here. Very lucky Oziligath bouncing that shot again. Finally pops the AP ammo, and the bazookas plus the AT gun finishing the job there, and now even this Panzer IV is under threat. Does get away. But yeah, that was really bad for Oziligath, kind of coming in one tank at a time. Kimbo getting the bazookas on the paratroopers, making all the difference there. Do remember that is an upgrade in this commander. Bazookas and the M1919s. Oh boy, but Kimbo comes forwards, not on full health, and the Jagdpanzer takes him down fast. Oh, there we go. Throw and counter throw. Oziligath, I think, still with the lead, but Kimbo just about there on his next Sherman. He's still got that very highly vetted Jagdpanzer. Bring in the Panzer IV here on low. He wants that VP control. AT gun coming forward for Kimbo. Popping the AP ammo, but bouncing. Or maybe that was take aim he activated there. Either way, AT gun gets decrewed. Panzer IV tries to stay on top of the captain, prevent the decrew. Doesn't even need to. Jagdpanzer from close to max range there, landing both its shots. Quite lucky. Popping the blitz now to escape from the paratroopers. Grenade out. Good grenade. Should get away safely still though. Needs to get that Panzer IV back though. Don't leave it on the front lines and lose it. Okay. Recon finishing the cap off there. Getting the retreat going. 63 VPs left for Kimbo. Neutralized. Got the fresh Sherman up in the north there. Smoking out the machine gun. Got the Jagdpanzer up there as well though. MG the other way. Some suppression going. Jagdpanzer all charging through, a little bit dangerous. Got the bazooka paras there, but backing into the smoke again. Panzer backing straight up, popping the cautious movement, missing its shot there though. Panzer IV still extremely low. Sherman penetrating. Bazooka paratrooper still coming, and he's got sight of it. They've been shooting at that machine gun the whole way back. Only one bazooka connecting though. I think he would have survived a second bazooka, but still no need to take that kind of risk. Another Panzer IV out for Oziligath. Still has a big bottleneck in terms of repairs. Hasn't rebuilt any squads or anything though, just been pumping out Panzer IVs. When you're in this kind of scenario, you can be okay to go for a second Sternpire. No shame in that. Looks like the fresh Panzer IV going to go ambulance hunting, coming into the US Forces base. Prioritise vehicles. Kimbo try and dodge with the ambulance. It's in the base sector. Oh, but down it goes very, very quickly there. Sherman coming to the bottom, and so are the paratroopers. He's backing out this way instead of down this way. Rear arm exposed. Panzer IV looks likely to go down here. Sherman even on high explosive penetrating the rear armor there, getting a little bit lucky. Not so lucky on that occasion, but the bazookas and a good bit of blocking here. Down goes the Panzer IV Oziligath. That was a bad move, backing away straight like this instead of coming back the direction he came from. And he pays the price.
Ambulance taking the field.
But it was a decent move, I think, overall. Got the kill, but just backed out the wrong way. Reversing right into the fire line.
A capture point is being overrun.
And these bazooka paratroopers continuing to do some nasty work here. Got the cluster bombs up in the north. Oh boy, and the Panzer IV is backing right into them. Going to get stunned here. Bazooka paras closing in. Panzer IV backed itself into a corner. We've got the Jagdpanzer. Goes back at base. Here comes the Sherman, bouncing its first shot. Panzer IV also bouncing. Sherman trying to get onto the rear armor. Panzer IV hanging on by a thread here, popping the blitz. Jagdpanzer shooting at the infantry maybe, or maybe just a bad miss, and there we go. Oziligath not noticing that cluster mine strike up in the north. Backing his P4 into it and getting stunned. Down it goes. Now another tank coming in for Kimbo. He's in a really good position. Got the Jagdpanzer charging in, hoping to catch the Sherman. 50 cal trying to cover the VPs. Triple cap against the Oziligath. Really needs to get some capping going. He's got the radio silence activated. Going for the north. Jagdpanzer going Sherman hunting, but backing off in a very safe direction. He's got the neutralize here. Going for the neutralize there and sending the stern pies to the south. Command Panther though for Oziligath. Doesn't have the oh, he does. He's got the machine gun upgrading on that already. Oh, but where are these stern pies going? They're not going to the bottom. They're going to the center. The Panther, you know, is not very good against the infantry. Stern pie is going to go in to jam the capture here. Throwing out the concussive grenade. It's done, but he didn't get in the capture circle, and Kimbo gets the cap off. And the bazooka paratroopers zoning out their Panther without the machine gun upgrade. He's just barely even tickling them. Jagdpanzer doing a bit of a wraparound here, getting quite aggressive, but could open up a Sherman flank. Oh, Jagdpanzer missing a crucial shot there. No engine damage if he gets the Faust off. Jagdpanzer missing again on the move. He's not having much luck. And the paratroopers coming up in this direction as well. Backing himself into a bit of a corner here. Getting some good hits in though. So is the Sherman now. But he can't escape from the paratroopers. Oh, but it doesn't matter. Oziligath ends up draining out. If he sent the... would have been close. Empires against the squads down here. I think he would have won, especially he came out better off in the grenade war. But there we go. Oziligath back and forth. Plenty of questionable maneuvers from both players here, but led to an entertaining back and forth battle. Kimbo ending up gutting it out. Oziligath, you know, he got that like second or third Panzer IV a couple of times and just got really reckless for them, you know, taking down that ambulance. He went diving in after a Sherman down here as well, and those kind of aggressive plays backfiring on really, really badly. Kimbo looked like he was down and out a couple of times this game, but hangs in there. Double pack Howies really helping him. Like every time Oziligath tried to come into the center, tried to cap, these guys were just blasting away at him, and Oziligath didn't have the answer. GG. Very good game. Well, anyway, guys, I'm wrapping that. If you like a good game to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye, and good luck.